Hey everybody, it is Deanna of toolsoferegyprotection.com, your energy shift advisor and Akashic Records expert. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to give just a little bit of time for everybody to jump on here. Really super excited. It is December the 7th, 2021, and there is a lot to share. So I'm going to just give a moment for everybody to jump on here and get myself where I can see the questions that are going on for whoever's going to be here tonight. And I really super appreciate each and every one of you being here tonight and giving us a chance to get here and set up. Let's see, one moment here. Okay. Oops, here we go. Okay. All righty, how's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to turn on my other monitor so I can see the questions as we talk. We've got a lot of things to cover about tonight. And if you would please send me a thumbs up or a heart to let me know that you're out there. We do have a lot to cover tonight. Just so much going on the planet, so much going on in the universe. It is an amazing time to be alive, as I've told you before. Also, there's just a lot of stuff going on. And the first thing that I would like to do is to acknowledge that we do have some of our beautiful sensitives, our fellow sensitives over in Hawaii right about now. And I was hearing that Hawaii has been hit with a hurricane, and it's not been very happy for a lot of folks that are there. So if we can send out our love, send the angels out to help each and every person who may be without power, who may be lost, who may need someone to find them. So if you can just ask God, Spirit, or Source to send the right angels out to them, we'll all be staying up on the news and looking to see what's happening going forward with this event. And then the next thing I would like to talk about is I'd like to talk about what's going on with Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and the moon. So we've got a lot of changes there going on. And then the other thing I would like to talk about is faith, love, and hope. And there is so much of that available to us as we are entering this new era. So again, I'm going to give a chance for everybody to jump on. Looks like we've got just a few people here live. And I did come on last night and give a little bit of a broadcast about the Schumanns and the resonances and the frequencies that are changing on our planet right now. So if you didn't see that, if you're on toolsoferegyprotection.com, go back to the previous blog I put up yesterday. YouTube, it'll be the video before, and Facebook, you just scroll down here and you will see it. We'll cover some of that just slightly tonight, but mostly I'd like to focus on the red alert. So for those of you that are sensitive, empaths, star seeds, those kind of folks, this is basically for you. And again, it is 12/7/2021. And I did talk to one of my students today about the Spiritual Awakening Academy, and there are still openings available, and we're going to be running it so that when you join, you can start from the very beginning and get all the same yummy information that everybody else is getting. And the student I talked to today was very, very kind, and he said, you know, I saw your video last night and you look exhausted. And so I want to come out publicly and say, yes, that is indeed true. I have been very exhausted lately, and part of it is because of the energy shifts that I'm going to put up here on the screen in just a few moments and show you. And part of it is because that putting the academy together and getting everything ready for you all when the time is right, you know, when the iron, what they say, when the iron is hot, strike it. Because now more than ever, we as highly sensitive people, starseeds and empaths, which I will call sensitives, have to be diligent in how we take care of ourselves, no matter where you are in this world, no matter what country you're living in. Because right now, the forces of darkness are really striking hard everywhere they can, and they don't fight fair. They, when you have an opponent, that opponent doesn't punch you in some place that you're super strong. They look for your weak points. That's how they play sports. That's how they have a game plan. A lot of businesses are the same way, just very shark-like, and take advantage of the weak. So my very strong message to you sensitives tonight is that you take a good look at you. And I'm going to ask you to get a notebook, a spiral bound notebook, and a pen or a pencil, and start putting the date on that page and how you're feeling, because the energy shifts are so dynamic right now. They're taking a lot of us sensitives and they're like, and they're shaking to see what comes out. Is it your strength? Is it your courage? Is it your faith? Is it your hope? Is it your joy? Or is it your fear? Which one is bigger in you right now? And that's what these energies are doing, is they are shaking us to our very core. And some of you are going to be like, whoa, Deanna, I'm good. Great. If you're great during these times, then you got it. You keep going. You have the courage, you have the hope, you have the joy, and you keep rocking it forward. You keep going because we need you. And as these energy shifts occur, each energy shift is going to shake something different in each person. And what it's doing is it's quickening you. For those of you that cook, if you've ever made like a soup or something that's too thin and you add either cornstarch or flour and it thickens up a little bit, there is a thickening and, if you will, a quickening. Maybe I should make that a hashtag, thicken, quicken. There's a thickening and a quickening that are going on for all the starseeds, all the empaths, all the sensitives, because we are in the stages, the throes of the battle, if you will. The dark side is just pummeling us as fast as it can. And it's taking advantage of the energies that the universe is presenting to all of us. So my desired outcome for tonight is that when you walk away from this broadcast, that you understand that the same forces that are being used to serve the dark can be used to serve the good. And when we were kids, they used to say, turn that frown upside down. Well, that's what I'm going to ask you to do, is take these energies and instead of turning them into the darkness that the dark wants you to have, the fear, the anxiety, the phobias, lots of anxiety, lots of things on our plates. It seems like every time I turn around, somebody else wants to put something else on my plate. I have enough, thanks. You can go away anytime now. It's called a safe boundary. Some things you can't draw boundaries with. There's certain things in life that you just can't. On the other hand, when you are filled with joy and peace and love in your heart as much as you can be, when you strengthen yourself, then when these things come along that you can draw boundaries with, you'll be able to draw a boundary. When they don't, you can either choose to engage them or not. And I will tell you from personal experience, the last 7 days of my life, there's been a lot of stuff that's come out of seemingly nowhere and hit me upside the head. I'm like, where the hell did that come from? And it's part of these energy shifts, because we are being quickened. We are being likened to oil and water separating, and sensitives, you are being taken to that next level, whether you are ready or not. Please breathe that in. All sensitives are being quickened, whether they are ready or not. So that means you have to make a choice. Are you going to be on the spiritual boat and the water? They say the rising water lifts all boats. Well, if your boat's cracked or broken, it's going to sink it. So you have to ask yourself, where are you right now? And I don't mean to be rude. I'm lovey and huggy and all that. But I'm asking you, where are you at right now? Do you feel firm in your foundation? Does your gut chakra feel good? Does it feel solid? Or are you scared as hell? Which one is it? I had a situation that came across my desk about 4 or 5 days ago. And it hit me upside the head. And I'm like, where the hell did that shit come from? Because I wasn't expecting it. My guides did not tell me it was coming, although I did not ask them. But this is where we are in time and space, ladies and gentlemen. We're not always going to get a heads up when things are coming. We have to be ready. And just because you have spirit guides and you talk to them and they help you, it doesn't mean they're going to say, hey, you know what? this is going to happen because we are being tested. We are being quickened. Don't get me wrong, they're always there and you can always ask them. Today, I asked my guys for a specific answer and they gave me a specific answer and I acted on what they told me. And when I took action on what they told me because I chose to, what I found out is what they told me wasn't exactly the case. And you're like, well, why would your guides lie to you? They didn't lie to me. What they did was they told me what I was asking in the framework I was asking it. So I didn't allow for any other possibilities. So basically, what I asked for was to be able to purchase a piece of paper about this big. And I said, can I find this exact color, this exact design at this place? And they said, yes. Well, that wasn't true. It was the exact size I needed. It functioned the same, but it wasn't the exact same color. But it still functioned what I needed it to do. So did they lie to me? No, I just didn't allow. I didn't ask for anything outside of my narrow focus. So just know that when you get these gut instincts, when you get these light bulb moments going on, and it seems like something's off or not quite right, all it means is that you're so focused, you're so narrow focused that anything outside of that doesn't matter as long as you hit that target. I hope that makes sense to you. If you can please give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you. Because this is where we're at. And my guys are reminding me I didn't close. I try to close everything I cover. You know, when I was telling you I was tired and somebody had pointed out to me, yes, I'm exhausted at this point because of all the things that I'm attempting to do to get them to you as fast as I can so that I can enable you all to be very strong and powerful sensitives as quickly as I can. However, I can't keep that up, nor should I. So I'll be taking it a little bit easier tomorrow so that I'm ready for Thursday and Friday. Because Thursday and Friday, I'm going to be at this For Heaven's Sakes bookstore in Denver. I'm going to be doing sessions. I looked at the schedule today. And on Thursday, I have 2 more appointments open. And on Friday, which is Fair Friday, discounted rates, I have 2 appointment times left. So if you're looking for help before the holidays, if everything's driving you crazy, you got so much anxiety, you just can't deal with it, then come and let's open your heart and connect you to God's Spirit or Source and make it easier for you to glide through what you're facing. All right. And then December, I will be down at the store almost the whole week before Christmas, almost. And I'll give you some specific dates because I know that there's so much stress going on this year. With, do you travel? Do you not travel? You know, and all the basic, you know, things about your health and finances and all that other stuff. So just know that there's going to be some times of service for you coming up greater than I normally do. You can call 303-964-9339 and get an appointment scheduled. And we can do a Zoom platform where you can see me, or you can come into the store, or we can do it by phone. So just know that's available. All right, let's move on. I'm going to quickly say hello to a few people. Then I'm going to talk about faith, love, and hope, and how that relates to Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus. Oh boy. All right, so first person, Angie. Hi, Angie, good to see you. She says she's in Wisconsin, so you know, good luck with the snow there. I'm glad you're sleeping. Very good. I'm glad you are. You asked me what part of Hawaii, and I don't know specifically. I think it's the main island. You can look it up, Google it, but they were bottling water before it hit because they knew they'd be without power. Thank you for asking. All right, Shannon, good to see you. Let's see here. Christy, hey, Christy. Big hugs and kisses. I'm sorry I didn't get to see you last time I was in town. It was kind of a quick trip there. Let's see. Milagros. Nice to see you. Very nice to see you, Shannon. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you think I look really good. I had to take it a little easier today. Melina, nice to see you. Marilyn, hi, it's good to see you. Let's see, Judy, glad to have you aboard. And Milagro says, I am physically sick and exhausted. Milagro, I am so sorry to hear that. And but it is going to help you to watch what I'm talking about tonight. If it should line up with you and you go, aha, now I know why, and some steps to take so that you can help yourself. And again, if that doesn't work, come see me, schedule an appointment, we'll get together. Bernard, oh, Craig, good to see you. Janice, haven't seen you in a while. And Bernard, it's good to have you aboard. Let's see, Anita, good to see you. Natasha, I'm so glad you're with us today. And Chrissy says she's drowning there. So perhaps it's raining really hard. I hadn't looked at the Texas weather. Mara, good to see you. And Angie says it's cold and snowing. So yeah, do reach out and send prayers and love to everybody. And Melina, and I hope I got all of you. All right, here we go. So also, please, those of you that are watching me live, if this resonates with you, I'm going to ask you to share the video with as many highly sensitive people, empaths that you can, starseeds, because this is our moment. We must quicken ourselves. And if I told you, when COVID started, that this time was coming, and here it is. If you go back and watch any of my old videos there on YouTube, I told you that this time was coming, and here it is, and we are in the thick of it. So, and we're just getting started. We do have more time in this phase that we're going through. So that's why the desired outcome is to strengthen you. All right, for those of you that are new and don't know, I have a Jewish Christian background. So I will go into the canonized version of the Bible or the Holy Bible, and I will sometimes use scriptures when it's appropriate. If you don't like it, just take the wisdom from what I'm telling you, because what I'm taking you is written in the wisdom, so that you understand that it's not something that has just been recently, coming into our planet, but it's been in the system for a long time. This is our next phase, and it's good to know that history often repeats itself. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look at Schumann's frequency so that you can see the electromagnetic frequency that the planet is going through, with Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus all lined up. I looked outside before we came on tonight, and they're all lined up in the sky, and they're so beautiful. And like the moon is down here, so you got bing, 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 and the moon. So it's almost like the moon has energies going in 3 different directions, which is kind of funny, but yet not funny. And it is causing a huge shift in the frequency, in our minds, in the way we feel about our bodies, whether we're sleeping or not sleeping, and whether we're getting downloads or upgrades or all that kind of stuff. So let's go over to have a look at Schumann's. All right, this is Schumann's resonant frequency. For those of you that have never seen this before, it is a graph. Let's see if I can get it to come. It's not going to cooperate. It is a graph that shows the vibrational frequency of the ionosphere of the planets. You can go look it up and educate yourself. And this is what it looked like on yesterday. So it was very, very consistent. You see that all the way down. This is the spiritual mana. This is God's spirit or source connecting with us very strongly, giving us what we need as empaths, starseeds, or highly sensitive people. And you're not aware of these, and these are coming in, your crown chakra is opening, and it's receiving all this wonderful stimulation. And if it's not aware of it, well, it's aware of it. It's maybe not consciously that you're aware of it, excuse me, and you don't know how to work with it, then what you're going to find is that when you don't know how to work with it, it's going to cause disruption. It's going to cause all kinds of disruption. All right, one moment. All right, excuse me there. A lot going on. Okay, so what you're going to find in the Schumanns is that I just ran this before we came on. And here is about 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. So if we go back right around 10 o'clock this morning, Mountain Standard Time, you notice there's a huge frequency shift right here, huge. So here a couple days ago, it was building, it's like, right? And then it kind of died down for a little bit. Then it came on again. And so every time it's come, it's usually when the sun is coming up. So it's intensifying the bioelectromagnetic frequency. And so yesterday we had a little bit of a build. And then today it just let loose. It really let loose. So if you were having trouble around lunchtime, 11 o'clock in the morning, agitated, your joints ached, all that kind of stuff, this is why. And notice that it runs from the top to the bottom. So here it was building, 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 and then it gave us a big push. And this is in the mental. Up here at the top is your spiritual connection. It's a lower vibration. Dogs can hear it real low. If you go back to the article yesterday on Tools of Energy, you can see a link towards a 5 hertz, or you can look it up, 5 hertz, and listen to it. It's very, very low. And then it comes down into the mental, emotional, physical energy bodies here. Okay. So that's what you've got going on. Those are the kind of things that we're going to talk about in the Spiritual Awakening Academy. So as that energy comes on, you can use it to lift yourself up. You can use it to shed your poop, to get rid of depression, anxiety, and fear. And what I was saying is that if you don't know how to do all of that, and this energy comes as a sensitive, and you're open to that, you're receiving that beautiful energy. And if you're not drinking it in and using it to strengthen yourself and balance your chakras, then it's like this huge weight on top of your head. And you're like, oh my gosh, it's awful. What do I do? Or what did I do? So that is, that is just the normal course of things. That's just absolutely normal. And so you're going to struggle. I don't mean to be the bearer of bad news, but you will struggle. And you will struggle because you're not using the energy that's being given to you freely, even though you think you're awake, alert, and aware. So meditate, bring it in, do whatever you need to do to make sure that you are utilizing these energies. These are literally super duper strengthening energies. Okay, so that's Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus playing around with the moon, or the other way around maybe. All right, now one more point I'm going to make, and then we're going to go on to some other information. If you have any questions, please put them down here in the feed, and I will be more than happy to answer those questions for you here in a little bit. And I'm going to talk about what is happening here. One moment, let's see. Okay, got so many buttons. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again. And this time we're going to switch over. We talked a little bit about this last night. But this is what is called the heartbeat of the earth. This is the Schumann, but they call it critical frequencies. And if you'll notice, we've got a steeper rise up for the bell curve, and then it comes down very sharply. So this one here yesterday looked a little bit more normal, a little bit more wider, but the wider the base, the shorter time it is for us to get up to a frequency that we need, and then come down very slowly. So like it's a gentle bell curve. It's sorry, I can't think of the term. It's the gentle roller coaster. So up slowly and down slowly. And the last couple of days we've had up, over, and down. And if you'll notice the bottom of the chart, where all these other colors are, these are the lower frequencies that are coming in. And what they're doing, if you watch the video from yesterday, it talks about how it's interacting with the electromagnetic frequency of your actual physical brain, how it's vibrating in there, and what it is causing or helping or shaping. So I'm going to leave you to go and look at that. Now, let's get on with the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk to you about. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to coin a phrase from the Bible. He who has an ear, let him here. So for those of you that are highly sensitive empath starseeds, male or female, and you understand what I'm talking about, you will know what to do. If you don't and you want help, reach out to me. Let's talk about it. Okay? You can go under the About section of toolsofenergyprotection.com. There's many ways to reach out to me and get a hold of me, and just reach out and we can set a time up for a chat. Okay? And I mean that because this is a dynamic time in our life. That's why I've got the Spiritual Awakening Academy going, because the desired outcome is that you all get trained. You get the training and the support you need. You have to have two things to be successful as a sensitive right now. And one is education or knowledge. And two is courage, the courage enough to take action. And if you don't have those two, or you only have one or the other, you're going to have a more difficult journey. Okay? All right, let's get on with it. So what I'd like to start with is you've got Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and we also have the dark side using this energy. The ambiguous they is literally using this energy to drive fear. Anywhere you look in the media, sorry media, love you, but anywhere you look, you're going to see fear right now being driven big time. Okay? Because these energies are so powerful and they know they can get an uplift, right? Not all media. I'm not putting them all in the same bucket. There's good and bad in both, everything, okay? Don't get me wrong. But I have a point to make, and it's from my heart. And I even came on and did a live Monday night because this is so important. I couldn't wait until tonight to share it all with you. So what I'd like for you to know is that if you look at the canonized version of the Bible of what is written that Christ said, you know, Jesus was a healer. Jesus was a person of light. Jesus brought hope to people. That's what he's written about for doing. And if we look at him as that person, a light bringer, just that simple point of view, and you read what he has recorded as having said to the people, what's there in the Bible anyway, then you're going to notice that there was a person who was attempting to tell sensitive, highly sensitive people, empaths, you know, no star seeds at that time, how to live their life so that their focus of their heart light being on and their brain being connected would lift them up to where they could live an abundant life. An abundant life, free from financial tyranny and joy in your heart. So if you say to me, Deanna, I have more than enough money, investments, I really don't need this. Do you have joy in your heart? Do you have happiness? Do you wake up in the morning, can't wait to see what's going to happen today, what the universe is going to bring you? Okay. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them down here in the feed. I love each and every one of you. And I know this message isn't for everybody, but right now I'm elevating myself to a position where I can shout from the rooftops, so to speak, so that the people that have an ear can hear this message. And for those of you watching that think I'm an absolute goofball, love you anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the serious nature of the business. So in the Bible, in the canonized version of the Bible, if you look at 1 Corinthians 13, there is a point to be driven home in that scripture, whether you're a believer or not a believer. I would like for you to listen. It says, if I speak in tongues of men and angels, funny that, because we hear the high-pitched whine in our ear for a very short period of time. That's actually angels coming in to deliver messages to us. It says, if I speak in the tongues of men and angels, but I do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. What does that mean? What that means, ladies and gentlemen, is that if you are seeking spiritual knowledge, you are seeking spiritual wisdom, you are seeking a mentor, a teacher, someone to give you the tools you need to shape your own spiritual connection, then what you're looking for is somebody who can give you that information. It might come in a book. There's lots of people that have lived over many lifetimes that have written books and left them behind so we can connect with their energy and learn. And once you find that person, they're not a resounding gong. You know, you hit a gong and it vibrates for a while and then it goes out. Or a clanging cymbal. You're like, ugh, you know, that gets on your nerves after a while. What you're looking for is somebody who has love in their heart. Now, does that mean the syrupy, sweet love? Oh, I love you. You're so wonderful. You're the greatest person ever. You know, like a man or a woman, you know, the Bambi kind of love, you know, no. Love has many attributes. It is a balanced energy, a peace energy, a love energy, a joyous energy. And it's freely available to everybody, freely available to everybody. That's what these energies I flashed on the screen earlier are doing. It's just coming in. It's like an apple tree that has so many apples on it, the branches are hanging, they're almost touching the floor. Please pick the apple, or if you want to prefer an apricot, I don't care. What I do care about is that you connect in and understand that the greatest amount of love and the greatest amount of hope and the greatest amount of joy energy ever that I've seen in my lifetime is coming through now. Okay, so it says, if I speak in tongues of men and angels, but I do not have love, I'm nothing more than a loud noise. So I would like for you, as you go forward in your spiritual life, to look for somebody to learn from who has compassion, who has love, who's going to show you the steps necessary so that you can grab onto your own understanding and access the divine. Because I'm telling you now, there's going to come a day when the only person that you're going to have to draw on is yourself. There'll be a time when it is you and God's spirit or source. And you've got to have the tools ready to go. You got to be prepared, okay? Got to have the little Boy Scout patch, if you will. All right, so this is the next one. I'd really like for you to listen to this one too. Again, this is really deep stuff. If I have the gift of prophecy and can understand all the mysteries and all the knowledge, and if I have faith that I can move mountains, but I do not have love, I am nothing. So what does that mean? The gift of prophecy is the ability to see into the future and tell people what's coming, whether it's in their own life or whether it's, you know, in the world scene. And you can be a channeler and you can watch things that are coming and you can chatter on TV and maybe be right 75% of the time, maybe 100. But if you don't have that love, that vibrational frequency of love, that connection to God's spirit or source, it does no good. Because you're nothing but an empty box, just chattering. It says, if I can understand all the mysteries and I have all the knowledge, the mysteries, you know, it's understanding metaphysics and how energy works. And there's way more than I understand. I discover more and more every day that I'm just scratching the surface, you know. But if you have all of that, and if you have the faith that you can move a mountain, faith means that you have the ability to understand that you have the energy to be able to move frequency, that mountain. But if you have love, you are nothing. So I'm going to cut to the chase because I know that a lot of you have told me you like me to keep these shorter. And also I'd like a chance, opportunity to train you more. But at the end of all that, it says at the very end of 1 Corinthians 13, it says, now we see the poor reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. No, I am in part, that I shall know fully, and even as I fully have known. And he's talking about all the things that he's just been discussing that we touched a few on. He says, and now 3 remain, 3 frequencies remain, 3 qualities remain: faith, hope, and love. And so what my guides were telling me is that Jupiter, Saturn, and Venus being in this alignment as it is now helps to bring in the vibrational frequency of faith, hope, and love. Faith, hope, and love. So now is the time to open yourself up. Now's the time to do the meditation. Now's the time to connect. Now's the time to open up. Now's the time to embrace your gifts. But notice the last one, it says, but the greatest of these is love. Why? All right, I'm going to move on very quickly. Then I'm going to switch over to something I touched on last week, or the week before, sorry. Weeks go by so quickly. And then I'll get back to some questions. So if we look at Jesus as having been on this earth, walked the planet as a healer, as a divine light, as all the rest of us are, and he understood it, and he was helping people to understand how energy works and how being connected to God's spirit or source works, and how to raise up to having divine abundance. And I don't mean just money. It says, seek first the kingdom of heaven, and everything else will be given to you. So the first time I ever read that, I'm like, well, if I'm supposed to seek first the kingdom of heaven, where's it at? Do I have to wait for the rapture? Do I have to wait till Revelation? If you want me to seek that first, where's it at? Because if you want me to walk across town to find something, and I know how to get there, I'm walking, okay? Well, then I went to another place in the Bible because I'm like, well, where's heaven? Or, the kingdom of heaven. And it says over in Luke 17:21, the kingdom of heaven is within. And I'm going to touch back on this point of having the knowledge and the wisdom of how to connect to God's spirit or source, either reading it in books of people that you know that have been there, done that, and trust, or finding a mentor or a teacher, because it said the Pharisees, which were the people that were opposed to Jesus's position at that time, and they ask, when will the kingdom of God come? They're asking Jesus, when's it going to come? And he replied, the kingdom of God will not come with the observations of signs. Hear me, people. A lot of folks have been talking about revelations. Is this the end of the world? Is this the time of the end? Blah, 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 right? And those are valid questions. I don't mean to make fun of it. But there's a bigger point at hand. There's a bigger focus at hand. And that is that the kingdom of heaven will not come by observable signs. Stop looking for when 7 sisters come, or this person rules the earth, or this person's president. Stop looking for that. Because you can look here, it says, nor will people say, look here or look there, for you will see the kingdom of heaven in your midst. Okay? And where is the kingdom of heaven? It is within within. And so what he's saying is there's going to come a time when people are so despondent that they're looking for, where's the kingdom of God? When's it coming? When are we getting out of these trials? When are we getting out of these tribulations? I can't stand this place anymore. It's getting too crazy. I'm scared. The kingdom of heaven is within you. It is in your heart. It is your connection to God's spirit or source, and I can't make it any more plain than that. So the bottom line right now is work through your issues as fast as you can while you're connected to God's spirit or source. It's a twofold thing. Your gut instinct has to be brought quick and strong, and to be able to rely on it. And if you're anything like me and you grew up with a narcissistic parent who beat the hell out of your gut chakra, because every time you knew something wasn't right, every time you told that narcissist, this isn't right, and I know it's not right, they came back with a punch. And they hurt you emotionally. And they told you you weren't worth shit. Sociopaths too, by the way. And for whatever reason, a large part of us that are sensitive, empaths, highly sensitive people, a lot of us were born to sensitive people who had narcissistic parents, or whenever it started down the generations. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. And this is the generation that has to say, I'm not going to take it anymore. I'm going to fix myself. No, you're not going to back and fix your parent, because you can't. That's who they are. If they want to heal, they will. But this is to fix you, to help you, to empower you, so that you can find the kingdom of God within, which is light, which is love, which is your connection to God's spirit or source. And that's why in the quote unquote, in the times, that people are going to be looking for the kingdom of God up to the heavens. When's it coming? When's it coming? And it's in their very midst, because it is you, ladies and gentlemen. It is the starseeds, the empaths, and the highly sensitive people that are standing right next to them. Maybe they're in their next door neighbor. Maybe they're sitting in a car next to them. Maybe they're walking in a grocery store next to them. And your light and your love, as it shines, no matter where you're starting, becomes greater and greater, and people will begin to look at you. I walk into a grocery store after I've been doing all sessions all day, just minding my own business, and people started staring at me. And I'm going to be funny, because you know I like to be funny. And the first time people were, just more than one person was staring at me when I walked through a grocery store after I'd been doing sessions all day. And I didn't think about the glow of running God's divine love through me. What I did was I reached down and I checked my zipper to make sure it was closed. Yep, check the fly. And once I knew that my fly was good, I'm like, okay. And I kind of looked down to make sure that my shirt wasn't unbuttoned or something. And people are still staring at me. So then I checked my nose and I'm like, I'm all good. Why are people staring at me? And it took me a while to figure out that these people did not have the understanding of that beautiful connection, or they were depressed, or they were in fear, or whatever, and their mind was here. Their mind was focused in the 3D world. And when I walked in, they felt the power of God's spirit or source's love, which is in every one of us. And their third eye saw it and went, oh, look. And their eyes went, oh, look. And when they looked at me, I'm an ordinary person. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And they looked away. But that is the power within all of you. No matter your age, no matter where you're just starting, no matter if you don't feel the love, no matter if you're just waking up and going, oh my gosh, I was raised by a narcissist or a sociopath, or I was married to one, or my sister was one, and they really have hurt me a lot. And now I'm feeling all weak and afraid. Good, you're awake, you're aware, you realized it. That's the first step. And the second step is faith, and knowing that you can walk forward and you can heal, and having the courage to take that first step. Okay? And I'm going to invite you, because this is what I do for a living, to take the first step and get a hold of me. If you're in Denver, or you're on the phone, you want to do a Zoom meeting, then get a hold of me. Because I will sit down and help you with this, and I'll help open up your energies, and we'll get rid of much of the juju energy as we can. because you literally have an energy field around you that carries that vibration. And once it's clean, it makes it easier to walk forward and have faith. Make sense? If it makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If you think I'm full of poop, give me an angry face. But I know who's doing the angry faces. Anyway, I'm going to go back very quickly to Matthew 6:33, and then I'm going to look for questions. Then we're going to be done for tonight anyway. But Matthew 6:33 says, seek you first the kingdom and the righteousness. That's this energy, and all things will be given to you. I'm finding this out. It's amazing. Okay. Do not worry about tomorrow, it says, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Today has enough trouble of its own. And that is good wisdom for us all. Okay? Today has the trouble of its own, so don't be worried about it. Seek first the kingdom in your heart, and all else will come to you. Ta-da. Very easy. Nothing particularly complicated about it. Okay? So I'm going to look down here in the feed, and I'm going to see what's going on, what kind of comments we have. And again, I love each and every one of you. I know sometimes people join in the beginning. I look at the stats for my videos, and like the first, 3 minutes, and they're gone. I know those people aren't the ones I'm supposed to be helping, so I'm all good. But for those of you that hang around, I appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and see what I've got here for questions. I said hi to a lot of you beautiful folks earlier. Anita, if I didn't say hi to you, Natasha, Marilyn, Chrissy says she's drowning. I'm hoping that's the water. Raining, I'll look at the weather later. Janice, good to see you. Melina, good to see you. Robin, hey. Patricia, good to see you. Chelsea, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. I don't get to see you that often, Chelsea, so good to have you aboard. Jennifer, nice to have you aboard. Barbara, nice to have you aboard. Shannon, if you're still with us on the broadcast, can you give me a little thumbs up? Because I'm going to speak to your comment. You said, I'm not feeling the love right now. And I hope that the rest of what I said, after getting into the scriptures, good. Okay, so you are here right now. Is helping you to understand that the reason, let me tell you this one more time, ladies and gentlemen, the reason with all these energies going on, the reason people aren't feeling loved is because they're holding within their energy field anxiety, fear, phobia, all that kind of stuff, fatigue, and they're holding it in their toroidal field, in their chakras. And here comes all this beautiful, loving energy from the heavens, free for us to receive in our crown chakras and absorb and breathe in, if you will. But we've got so much crap in our Taurus and our energy fields that we're not able to receive. And so all this beautiful, loving energy is pushing down. So if you imagine water and oil, gets shook up and then you wait and it'll separate out. Well, right now down here in the energy field is whatever you have in your life. So that's fear, anxiety, phobia, what have you, which I understand looking at the world at large. Then that's what you're going to hold in your energy field, and it's going to be too full to receive the love. So the love comes down and it's like, let us in, let us in, let us in. And you got to let go of some of this crap in order to receive that love. I hope that makes sense. I try to be as plain as I can. All right, Shannon, get a hold of me later if you like. Let's have a session. Let's get together. Let's talk about what's going on for you and get you the feeling better. We need one more for the light, okay? Brenda, good to see you, my darling. Earth is heaven, yes, in a manner of speaking, but there are other dimensions that we can go to after this one, which is why people think of it as heaven. It's higher level frequencies. Shannon says truth. Good. High five, Shannon. Let's Milagros, high five to you. Thank you for your comment. Christy, thank you for inviting. Oh, sorry, Chrissy, thank you for inviting other people. Tammy, good to see you. Malena, good to see you. Milagros says, how can we release that blocking energy? All right, Milagros, that is part of my teaching secret. I can't give it all away on these broadcasts. You'll have to come and let me teach you. Oh, but I really will. The Academy is a beautiful place for people to land. I know I keep talking about it. There's a dashboard that we tried to get up last week that makes it really super easy for people to interact and take the classes, and it didn't quite get up. So I'm shooting for this Sunday. Once that's in place, though, it'll be so easy for you to take it, get the lessons. And remember, I'm going to teach 4 times in a year the Akashic Records. So when you join up for the Academy for the whole year, 4 times in that year, you'll get to learn how to clear the energies for yourself. And that's what you're asking about. How can you release the blocking energy? The big enchilada, if you will, is learn to clear your Akashic Records. A lot of times there's other timelines that are feeding down to the current timeline because this is the time to purge, and your divine self knows that. So it's sending a lot of stuff here for you to take care of, which can be a bit overwhelming if you don't know how. In the meantime, Alegros, I'm going to ask to release the blocking energy, meditate. If you have a spiritual practice, utilize it with the intention of getting rid of its smudge, if you would like, or set a session with me and we can certainly release it for you. And then hello to Rex for watching. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. No, I've been on here a while tonight, and I promised my beautiful daughter that we would do something more exciting tonight than having mom work. So I've got to go and tend to that. But again, please, if you're interested in the Spiritual Awakening Academy, reach out to me. I am finalizing the dashboard this week. And then on my website, I'd like to do some writing and some videos so that you can go and say, okay, what's it all about? And what do I get and all that? And that is a fair question. So I am working on that as well. I will be at For Heaven's Sakes Books in Denver live and in person. This coming up Thursday, today is 12/7/2021. I'll be there this Thursday and Friday. When I looked at the appointment book today, Friday is almost full. It is discount day. So if you're needing a discount, if you're needing a little help financially, that's the day for you. And also, I have had several of you reach out to me to buy gift certificates for your loved ones. So big hugs and kisses to you. Thank you. I have gift certificates and little bags that they go in, and also a ornament in that gift bag. So if you buy one, then you can pick it up at the bookstore, because once you put it in the gift bag, it's kind of hard to, mail it. Or other people, I've just mailed them the gift certificates to put in their family and loved ones' stockings. So if you have a family member who needs energy clearing, or maybe wants to talk to a deceased loved one, please feel free to buy them a gift certificate. You'll have to get a hold of me either through the private, well, I guess it's up here on the webpage on Facebook. You can message me privately or go to toolsofenergyprotection.com and click on about, and you'll find many ways to reach me there, private message me. So thank you, and I look forward to serving each and every one of you. And what's been happening lately is that my books will usually fill up within a day or two before I'm at the store. So please hurry if you're going to come and have a session. And Chrissy, thank you so much for your desired outcome for me to have fun with my sweet girl. And you do the same, and give your mom a big hug for me. All right, have a great and wonderful night, and I will see you soon. Please share the video.